The giant that poisoned the world with Teflon. What would you do if you discovered there's poison in your blood? This is not a theory. It's not an exaggeration. Nearly every American, 98% of the population, carries an invisible chemical compound in their bodies, and it never leaves. They call them forever chemicals, products created by corporations like DuPont, who knew the truth for decades, but chose profit over people. This video is a deep dive into the scandal that connects your kitchen to a secret lab, to a courtroom where DuPont was finally exposed. We're talking about Teflon, but not like you've heard before. Get ready. What you're about to discover might change the way you see the world around you. And the question that remains is, how many more secrets like this are still hidden from us? The accidental discovery, the birth of Teflon picture. It's 1938. A young chemist at DuPont, Roy Plunkett, is working in his lab, surrounded by steel cylinders, hoses, valves. He's trying to create a new refrigerant gas. But when he opens one of the cylinders, something strange happens. The gas is gone. Inside, a mysterious white powder. He holds it in his hands. It's slippery, dense, and completely inert. An accident, or something more. Plunkett had just created an entirely new compound, polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE, a material that doesn't melt, doesn't stick, doesn't dissolve, and resists almost everything. They called it Teflon, like an invisible chemical shield, so perfect, so indestructible, it seemed like magic. But no one knew the price that would come with that magic. The US government quickly took interest. It was the era of the Manhattan Project, the race to build the atomic bomb. They used Teflon to coat pipes carrying radioactive gas because no other material could withstand it. Teflon became the silent hero of war. But the question is, if a material can resist acids, heat, and radiation, what does it do inside your body? Whispered Tone. Now imagine, this accidental substance would end up in your kitchen. And no, untold you the full story. If this story already has you curious, hit the like button now, because what's coming next is even more shocking. From war to the American kitchen, the Teflon invasion. After World War II, Teflon wasn't just for secret labs or bomb-making pipes. It marched straight into American homes, and no one suspected a thing. Non-stick pans, Teflon. Waterproof jackets, Teflon. Stain-resistant carpets, dirt-repelling rugs, protective sprays. Everything was sold as the future. The promise was simple. Save time, less effort, more convenience. But no one mentioned the hidden price. Imagine the ads, women smiling in their kitchens, eggs sliding off the pan effortlessly. Cook without oil, cook without hassle. But behind that modern miracle was PFOA, an invisible chemical compound, essential to making Teflon. And it wasn't just in the pan, it was escaping into the air, the water, the soil, and silently into your body. Then the data began to emerge. 98% of Americans have traces of PFOA in their blood. It's as if an invisible stamp has been printed on almost everyone. It doesn't matter where you live. PFOA is in Alaska, Hawaii, the heart of big cities. And the question that echoes is, if even the air we breathe and the food we eat are contaminated, how can we protect ourselves? Drop a comment. Do you think companies have the right to hide dangerous information from the public? Or should health always come first? I want to know what you think. The toxic secret, PFOA, and the invisible contamination now, the part DuPont didn't want you to know. Since the 1960s, the company knew that PFOA, the secret ingredient in Teflon, was toxic. Their own internal studies showed it. Rats with enlarged livers, tumors, unexplained deaths. And what did they do? Nothing. Worse, they kept dumping PFOA into rivers, into the soil, into the air. In just the Parkersburg, West Virginia plant, more than 7,000 tons were released into the environment. Imagine this: an invisible poison with no smell, no taste, and it never disappears. It enters the water you drink, the food you eat, the air you breathe, and the worst part, the human body has no way to eliminate it. PFOA accumulates, settles, and stays. Not for days, not for years, but for decades. Scientists call these compounds forever chemicals because they literally stay in the environment and in your body forever. And the question is, how many? Mysterious diseases? How many cases of cancer? How many fertility problems could be linked to these invisible poisons surrounding us? If you're shocked by this, share this video with someone who needs to know. This story can't stay hidden any longer. The unlikely hero. Robert Bilott versus DuPont now. The story has a face. Robert Bilott, a corporate lawyer used to defending big companies, suddenly finds himself in a battle he never imagined. It all started with a call. A desperate farmer in West Virginia, Wilbur Tennant, called Bilott's office. His cattle were dying, the creek on his farm bubbling with strange white foam, and he suspected DuPont's factory. Bilott almost turned down the case. It wasn't his area. It was against a giant. But something in his gut told him, this isn't normal. And when he dug into DuPont's internal documents, what he found was terrifying. Secret reports, studies on PFOA's effects in rats, dogs, even monkeys, and proof that DuPont had known for decades that PFOA was dangerous. They knew, and they told no one. Imagine holding those papers in your hands. You have proof that one of the largest companies in the world intentionally poisoned water, land, lives, and hid it all for profit. How would you handle that truth? Would you have the courage to keep investigating, knowing your career, your reputation, even your safety could be on the line? The health impact. The diseases linked to Teflon. What happens when an invisible poison flows through your blood for years, when it crosses the placenta, reaches unborn babies, and no one tells you? Scientific studies revealed PFOA is linked to diseases like kidney cancer, testicular cancer, thyroid disease, infertility, preeclampsia in pregnant women, high cholesterol, and even birth defects. Cases like Buck Bailey, born with deformities. After his mother worked at DuPont's factory, are just the tip of the iceberg. And the numbers are staggering. 98% of Americans have PFOA in their blood. And it's not just in the US. Traces have been found in polar bears, Pacific fish, migratory birds. A global contamination cycle, silent, constant, and irreversible. The question no one can answer is, how many lives were impacted? How many cancer cases? How many families shattered could have been avoided if the truth had come out sooner? If this story has made you think, subscribe, hit the bell, because the next video will show you what else could be poisoning you, and you don't even know it. Future. The dangerous swap and GenX. When the pressure mounted, DuPont needed a solution. So they promised, don't worry, we'll replace PFOA with something safer. And so GenX was born. A new name, a new molecule, but the same secrets. Studies show GenX can cause the same problems. Tumors, bioaccumulation in the body, contamination of rivers and soil. It's the same game, just with different names. The strategy is old. Change the name, tweak the formula, sell the illusion of safety. But the result is the same. Waste dumped into the environment, communities exposed, diseases emerging in silence. One study found GenX had already contaminated the Cape Fear River in North Carolina, affecting thousands. And the uncomfortable question remains, why do we let history repeat itself? If we already know forever chemicals are dangerous, why do we let companies create new versions without knowing the price we'll pay? Veneno invisível. Forever chemicals. 98%. This will come back in the next chapter. Now, how to protect yourself and fight for the future. Now that you know the story. The question is, what can we do? The harsh truth, forever chemicals are everywhere. In the water you drink, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the cosmetics you put on your face. They're even in the rain. We can't erase the past, but we can make better choices starting now. Installing water filters like reverse osmosis or activated carbon can help reduce exposure. Avoiding products labeled stain-resistant, non-stick, or waterproof. Asking questions, demanding answers, pushing companies and governments to regulate these invisible poisons. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that we can't blindly trust those who profit from our health. And the final, most difficult question, if you knew you had poison in your blood, what would you be willing to do to change that? How many other products, how many other substances are still hidden behind pretty labels and empty promises? Forever chemicals, 98%, invisible poison. The next video will reveal what else is in the air, silent, invisible, and it could be killing you right now. The truth is, this story goes far beyond Teflon. It's about how progress can poison. When profit speaks louder than health, PFOA, GenX, the forever chemicals are just the beginning. Because if they were able to hide this for decades, how many other secrets are still buried? Now that you know, the choice is yours. Will you keep using products without questioning what's behind them? Or will you join us to open your mind, investigate, and fight for what's right? If you've made it this far, it means you're part of the 2% who question, who don't accept everything without thinking. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like the video. This is just the beginning. And the next video will show you something even more dangerous. Something invisible, something in the air you breathe, and it could be killing you right now. Are you ready to find out?